Today we're going to look at Grade 4, Module 1, Lesson 7. Round multi-digit numbers to the thousands place using the vertical number line. The first number that we're going to round is 4,100. On my first vertical number line, I've found that I know that 4,100 is somewhere between 4,000 and one more thousand than that, which would be 5,000. If you notice, I marked 4,000 and 5,000 on my number line as endpoints. Endpoint number 1 and endpoint number 2. In the middle, I've also marked where I would put a midpoint. A midpoint is helpful because it helps you to see what is halfway between your bottom endpoint and your top endpoint. My midpoint for between 4,000 and 5,000 would be 4,500 because 500 is halfway between 1,000. In order to round 4,100, I have to decide where on the number line it would go. I know that 4,100 is greater than 4,000, but it's definitely less than our midpoint, which is 4,500. So I'm going to look at my line, and I'm going to make a best guess where I think it would go. Now, 4,100 is only 100 more than 4,000. Therefore, I put it slightly above our 4,000 endpoint. Now I have to ask myself, which number on the number line is my number nearer to? So 4,100 is nearer to or closer to 4,000 than it is to 5,000. Therefore, when I'm rounding to my thousands place, 4,100 rounds to 4,000. Our next number, 4,700, is greater than 4,500, but it's less than 5,000. So I'm going to do my best to find a place on my number line where I can place 4,700. Now again, greater than 4,500, but less than 5,000. Now I need to ask myself, is this number nearer to or closer to my 5,000 endpoint or my 4,000 endpoint? Well, 4,700 is closer to my 5,000 endpoint. Therefore, 4,700 rounds to 5,000. Let's look at our next number line. Here I have a number line which my endpoint on the bottom is 14,000 and my endpoint on the top is 15,000. The reason I picked 14,000 and 15,000 is because if I look at my example, 14,500, I know that I have 14,000, and I know that one more thousand than that is going to bring me to 15,000. Again, I can put a midpoint on here, and halfway between 14,000 and 15,000 is going to be 14,500. Now, if I look at 14,500, even though it's my midpoint, I'm going to round up, and I'm going to say that 14,500 is closer to 15,000. Our next example, 14,990, I need to look at my two numbers and I need to decide, is 14,990 closer to 14,000 or closer to 15,000? Well, I know just by looking at the digits that are in my hundreds place that 14,990 is greater than my midpoint, which is 14,500, but it's not quite to 15,000, so again, I'm going to do my best to place it on my number line. Now, 14,990 is almost 15,000. If I ask myself which number it's closer to on my number line, it's obvious that it's closer to 15,000, and therefore 14,990 rounds to 15,000. My next example, 14,345, I have to do the same thing. I have to ask myself, Is it greater than 14,000? Yes. Is it less than our midpoint, 14,500? If I look at my hundreds place again, I know that it is less than 14,500. Therefore, it has to be somewhere between 14,000 and 14,500. If I put this on my number line, I'm going to do my best to just figure out where I think it will be about. I'm going to say it is about right here, 14,345. Again, is it closer to 14,000 or is it closer to 15,000? Obviously, 14,345 is indeed closer to 14,000. Therefore, I'm going to round my number to 14,000. There's two examples that I wanted to show you that are right on our homework. So the homework for Module 1, Lesson 7, you're going to see an example that has 5,900, and you're going to see an example that has 4,180. So what I thought we would do for the 4,180 is we're just going to use this number line, because this number line has the numbers, the two endpoints that we need in order to round. So I have 4,000 and I have 5,000. I need to figure out if 4,180 rounds to 4,000 or to 5,000. So right here I actually still had my 4,100, and 4,180 is just a little bit above that. So again, I'm going to ask myself, what is it closer to? Which endpoint? 4,000 or 5,000? And if I look at my number line, it's obvious that it's closer to 4,000. Therefore, this will round to 4,000. Now, for the example of 5,900, I thought I would just show you how to draw a number line. So here I have my vertical number line going up and down. I have my two arrows, and then I'm going to mark my two endpoints, and I'm going to mark a midpoint also. Now in 5,900, I have a 5 in the thousands place, so I know that that's going to be my bottom endpoint. So 5,000 is going to be my bottom endpoint, and then 1,000 more than that, which is 6,000, is going to be my top endpoint. My midpoint is going to be 5,500. Now if I take 5,900 and I put it on my number line, I have a 9 in the hundreds place. Therefore, I know that my 5,900 is going to be somewhere up here. It's definitely greater than 5,000, but it's also greater than our midpoint of 5,500, but it's less than 6,000. So 5,900, I'm going to ask myself, what is it closer to? What is it nearer to? 5,000 or 6,000? And I can see, using my visual here, that it's closer to 6,000, and therefore it's going to round to 6,000. The most important thing to remember here is when you do your number lines, you need to ask yourself which number on the number line, the number that you're rounding, is nearer or closer to.